Welcome to Made in Ely, where we chat to local business owners about what they're building and how they're doing it, recorded here at Ely Work Collective. Today's guest is Tom Ramsey, Director of Coffee at Silver Oak. Hi Tom, how are you doing?
I'm very well. How are you guys?
Very good, thank you. Yeah, really good.
Very good,
Thank you for coming in.
You're welcome. We eventually managed to find a day and get to work. Yeah.
Your super busy schedule. We're very grateful to have you in. So, as we do with everyone's, let's kick off with, so for people who don't know you and don't know Silver Oak in the Yard, tell us who you are, where you are and what you do in Ely.
So we, Silver Oak, are firstly and foremost coffee roasters. Started the company in 2013. Without me, I wasn't involved at that point. But in 2013, the company was formed. We've been roasting coffee for all that time. Yeah. And that's been the main core of the business. And in 2023, we opened the Yard in Ely. So that's a site that's comprised of 4 different outlets, 5 different containers, street food, cocktails, obviously a coffee bar. Yeah. Lovely coffee bar. Indoor seating, outdoor seating, kids play area, all sorts going on there. Yeah. So that was a big undertaking, but yes.
Wow, my God, that's quite a lot.
Yes.
That you cover. So that's quite a journey then, from starting off with the kind of coffee, coffee core, if you like. Tell us a bit about that, sort of how that journey, how that's evolved over time.
So, I mean, the early days of the company was a real graft, really. It started off with just Bruce roasting coffee in his garage. Oh, gosh. He'd done a few things previous to that, and sort of he was making furniture, some really nice bespoke wooden furniture.
Yeah. Okay.
Sold all of his tools, sold his Rolex to buy the coffee roaster. So started roasting coffee in his garage. Yeah. Suzanne was working full time at the time as one of the heads of region for the regional colleges. I can't remember exactly what it was. Yeah. So she was very big sort of executive job, which enabled Bruce to have fun and try his hobbies that might turn into businesses.
Like it.
So he started roasting coffee and started taking it out to markets, and Suzanne would help him on the weekends. Yeah. And then that really started going. Suzanne was offered a redundancy package, so sort of took that and then sort of started really working with Bruce at the markets. And so predominantly they did Ely, Stamford, Cambridge, a few other sort of localish markets, but just selling the bags of coffee. Yeah. So not making any drinks, just turning up, bags of coffee, talking to people about them and trying to sell. Yeah. And then after about 6 months or a year of that, they thought we need to make drinks so that people can actually try the coffee.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So then that started, and I mean, the old school way that we set up in the markets was like, you'd get the gazebo out of the van, take all the tables out of the van, lift the 80-kilo coffee machine out of the van onto a table. It was a real hard graft doing those markets. You'd be out of bed at 4 a.m. You're not getting home till 8 p.m. It's a long day. You've got to roast all the coffee before that as well to be ready and bag it up and get it ready to sell. Yeah. So I mean, it was before we are what you see now, it was a lot of hard graft put into it, so that me and all the other employees of the company have got a relatively easy life now, as market traders go.
Oh no, definitely. Well, we had it's interesting. We had one of our guests a couple of weeks ago, Kate. So she Crossed by Kate. So she's on the market. Yeah. Has a sort of pitch there all the time, and she was saying exactly the same thing. As in, like that early days, she was like, you've got to bring your weights to make sure your gazebo doesn't fly away on those kind of days. There's that. People kind of see that. Oh, you start on a market stall. That's easy kind of thing. And it's like there's so much involved in that, isn't there? There's so much to kind of.
It's quite a physically demanding job. I mean, you can create the best product in the world, but if you're starting out on markets, you also have to be sort of physically tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you want to make it work on a market and you want to have regular customers, you've got to be there come rain or shine. Yeah. You wake up and it's -5. That's tough. You've committed to being at the market. You need to be there for your customers.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, they can't rely on you.
Yeah.
It's also that timing around all that as well, isn't it? I used to work in organic farmers markets in London. And it was the same story. Like, yes, there's a 4-hour market window where everything's open, everyone's coming in and shopping, but they don't appreciate the 4 hours before then, when you get up early, you load the van up, you get everything ready, you then drive there, you set, like you said, you do all the kind of the hard work of setting the pitch up. But then there's the packing down again at the other end. There's taking everything back. There's unloading the vans and all that kind of stuff. It's a 12-hour minimum day for a third of that to be actually trading.
Yeah.
I think it's really difficult for people to appreciate like how much work goes into just having, but like having a market stand compared to maybe even having a set premises where you can essentially unlock the door, go in, turn the lights on, get it set up. Yes, it's still a big job, but the market stalls are, like you said, very demanding in many ways, and you can't control the weather. That's the biggest thing.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
And I mean, it differs depending on what you're selling on the market. It's like there are a lot of market traders who, they're not going to be selling to the same people day in, day out. Then so I can see the perspective from a lot of market traders where if the weather's rubbish, there's no point in turning up. Because if you're selling something that someone might buy as a gift for someone else, and if you've got really breakable products, and there's high winds, fair enough.
Exactly.
You risk losing more than you might take. If you do turn up to the market. But what we do is, we're making drinks for people. We are essentially a coffee shop that's on the market square. We think of it as a promise to the people. We promise to be there 364 days a year. We will be there 364 days a year. We let ourselves have Christmas Day off.
Oh, gosh.
I would be quite tempted and happy to do Christmas Day, to be honest with you. I think it would be really interesting. Everyone will be in a great mood. You're going to have the nicest interactions with customers.
Yeah, you heard it here.
But I don't think my family would be very happy with that. So
you and me key in a little lunchtime window just to have it open for a couple of hours or something.
Cool. Okay, so taking it from that, I guess that point. So when it was the market, and suddenly, obviously, then they started serving drinks. And at what point then was it? Did they then kind of sort of think, "Gosh, we've got something here. There's really something that's got legs."
Yeah, I mean, I think it was. Quite early on, really, they sort of realised, okay, people are really coming back for this, and it was just consistent comments from customers talking about, I had this bag of your coffee and I've never had anything that good. It's always so delicious. And people who try the drinks, we still to this day, and it's so heartwarming to see people order a drink, they start walking away, and you see them take a sip, and they almost have a double take. And I think it's from being on the market square and being on a market stall. People don't really necessarily expect like a really amazing cup of coffee. But yeah, so I mean, it does surprise people sometimes. But yeah, no, I think very early on they were just getting so much good feedback from people, and just people coming back for coffee week in, week out. I think that really just showed them, wow, this works. So I mean, from there they took on, I think, one employee. Prior to 2018, I think there was only ever one employee, maybe one or two part-time weekend people that just helped out on the market stall. So they started sort of trying other markets here and there and stuff. But then the problem with that is, they did Cambridge Market for quite a few years. Bruce used to do it on his own and built it up to do quite some trade on, I think it was on a Sunday. He did that market. And then he had an employee doing it, and just takings just started dropping off. And that's the hard part of any business owner, is that like you as the business owner are going to be the most passionate and the best at talking about it and the best at enthusing and really building trade. You take on an employee who maybe doesn't, probably maybe cares, but just isn't really as driven, isn't really as passionate. So sort of Cambridge dwindled a bit to the point where, and then that employee at the time sort of left. So they said, okay, well, we'll just have to stop doing Cambridge Market for a little while then.
Gosh, it's all. It's like you say. We at some point we'll be the same here. It's when it's your baby, it's your something. Something you're growing. Like you say, it's your. There's hopefully no one else in the world that's more passionate about it than you are, and that's really hard to repleplicate, isn't it? In a business like that.
I think you got pretty lucky when you found me.
Absolutely.
It's so I think it was from there it very much became, okay, Ely really works. Like the people of Ely really like us, and they started doing Thursday, Saturday, Sunday on Ely Market. And from there was a lot of discussions with the market team, Ely Markets Limited, who actually operate the markets. And so they started having discussions around being on the market 6 days a week.
Yeah.
And so this was probably early 2017. They started having those discussions, and then they sort of essentially piled everything the business had made into the big trailer that we've just had a new one. Yeah. But the big trailer, the rig is what we call it. Yeah. That arrived in 2018. Yeah. And that's when we sort of really took the big plunge to go, right, Ely, 6 days a week. Ely is now home.
That's the focus.
When the company started, Bruce and Suzanne were living in Thorney. So it was well positioned for a lot of the sort of Fenland markets. And Stamford and Cambridge were Stamford and Ely were the ones that were like, these are the great markets. Yeah. Unfortunately, in 2023, we had to give up Stamford Market when we opened the yard. There's just too many things going on. Yeah. The vehicle that was going out to Stamford was almost spending more repairing it than we were taking on the market. It's like an hour and a half drive across the Fens, bumpy roads. That was no good for the vehicle, no good for the generator we had to tow. Yeah. So we had to sort of pack that in. But 2018 is when 6 days a week in Ely Market really started. Wow. And that's when they started taking on actual employees. Yeah. I started as a part-time barista in 2018. Wow. I arrived with the company about a month after the trailer arrived.
Wow. Okay. Yes. And had you got experience in that prior? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been working in coffee for about 15 years now.
Oh, wow.
I know, I don't look old enough. But,
no, exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah. So I'd met Bruce a few times before I even applied for the job. I've worked as a barista in Cambridge for many years, and then I got a job as a coffee machine technician. So that's how I originally met Bruce. We had a call out. I went and fixed his machine at his roastery with another one of my colleagues. Bruce doesn't remember me being there because he was just chatting to my other colleague who came with us. And then I did installed a coffee machine for one of Bruce's customers in Cambridge, Maison Clément. Yeah. Amazing patisserie. Yeah. They do such good pastries. Yeah. Grain Culture does amazing pastries. Yeah. Maison Clément but they're like worlds apart. Yeah. The Grain Culture pastries, like the big, really big, fat, fluffy. Yeah. The Maison Clément, like the traditional French, like intricate. A million layers of lamination in every croissant and things like that. Like, honestly incredible. Yeah. They actually visited us today and they brought me a pain au chocolat this big. I know you can't see.
No, I was going to say, I was like, it's ginormous for Tom.
It's sort of like twice the size of my head. Yes, absolutely incredible. I ate a third of it and I felt really like sick all day. But it was incredible. But I've completely lost my train of thought
No,
now.
you're fine.
No.
Well, while you're down that road, let's go coffee. Let's dig into the coffee side of things for now. So for anyone who doesn't know kind of what specialty coffee is and what makes you guys different, tell us about that. Tell us.
Yes. So I do. Yeah, there we go. So it's a big question. I think a lot of people probably think it's just people deciding that their coffee is better. But it's not subjective. It's an objective grading system. Yeah. So at the farm, any farms that want to up their game, want to be producing great quality coffee, which means they can charge more for it, will get their coffee graded. So most coffees are graded at the farm, and it's scored out of 100. Anything that scores over 80 is classed as specialty coffee. Anything scoring lower than 80 is known as commodity coffee, and that is what's traded on the stock exchange. If you will. That's what all the companies like Nestle and Starbucks. Most large coffee companies in the world will use commodity grade coffee, simply because the price per kilo on specialty coffee is a lot more. And obviously, the big players don't want to spend that much on their coffee. So so we only deal in specialty coffee, like a lot of companies now do. Because it's objectively better. And not only is it better, it's like most companies that do the importing of the coffee. So we use a company called Macanta. They're the people who actually go out to the farms, make sure that they source the great coffee. They go to the farms. They make sure they pass their criteria to purchase from. They're very strict purchasing criteria. They'll only buy from farms that sort of sustainably run and ethically run as well.
Yeah.
There are many other criteria to it,
Yeah.
but they're sort of the big ones that are the most important, I feel.
Yeah.
So, for example, the farm we buy our house espresso from, the Aki Aries Estate, we've been using it for 10 years now. I've actually got their T-shirt on from
Fully
the farm,
prepared today.
brought to the UK by the owner of the farm, and put in my hand by him. That was fun.
Wow.
But yeah, so they are carbon net zero, the entire farm.
Wow.
So the farm is the town. I mean, the farm built the town. All the workers live in the town that was built by the owners of the farm.
Wow.
They've got 3 natural springs on the farm, and that's where they use all the water for all the processing of the coffee that they do. All of the waste products, so, you know, just the leaves and bits of branch and all the sort of waste product of that coffee is used in their fuel burning, in their fuel burning generators that will then go and heat water and things like that. So yeah, I mean they do so much to be sustainable and ethical, and produce amazing coffee. So you know, they've got everything we want, and they can produce enough for us to actually have enough to last an entire year without us having to constantly change our sort of house espresso, if you will.
Amazing.
So yeah, specialty coffee isn't just like a buzzword people use when they feel like it. It's an objective criteria that has to be passed for you to call something specialty.
I mean, I've certainly learned a lot today because I had no idea about that. I'll be perfectly honest. I pride myself on I know what I like, and I know we're pretty picky here in terms of what we have and things like that. But that side of it, in terms of that, like you said, that it is a sort of an objective. It either passes it or it isn't under that kind of criteria. I think that's well, hopefully it's not just me. Didn't know that. I think it's a really good thing for people to know.
But with that in mind, how have you found kind of not necessarily the reception from people of Ely, but the education side of things with people about specialty coffee in a place like Ely, where we are a bit further away than some other areas where specialty coffee is really popular. Things like London, Cambridge, places like that. It's still a bit of a niche thing over here, and obviously Silver Oak's now like a household name in Ely, which is great. But does everyone have you found people who are genuinely interested in that side of the reason why they're paying what they're paying for a coffee over a Costa?
I mean, I would still say that like even a lot of our customers, it's like we don't necessarily have that conversation about what specialty coffee is, but it's just that so if someone takes the leap and buys that bag of coffee and they go, well, that's really nice. That's better than what I get from the supermarket. And it's just really, really nice going on that journey with customers, because we have such a broad range of coffees. Excuse me. So we have everything from like a really sort of classic darker roast. So if someone came up to me and said, "Oh, I like an Italian roast," or I normally drink Lavazza or Illy, then I'm going, you will love this, because it's a really high quality Brazilian coffee that we roast dark enough to give you all of the flavors and expect from a coffee, but no bitterness, super smooth, rich, sweet, delicious. And so that's a really good entry point for people. And then that in itself, it's like, to me, that's a boring coffee. But to so many people, that's better than any coffee they've ever bought from a supermarket. And then we go, people start there, and then you can almost take them on the journey and sort of go up the retail shelf with them. And sort of you start them off on like the classic, it's real classic, dark, chocolatey, nutty, smooth coffee. And then you go on to our house espresso, which is starting to introduce, it's not quite so dark. It's starting to introduce a couple of little interesting notes into it, but it's not challenging. It's still an easy drinking coffee. And then we sort of go to a medium roast Brazil. So it's, it's not dark. It's a lot more mellow. It's easy drinking. It's like an afternoon coffee. And then you start getting into like the fruity coffee territory. And we always try and position things so that, we've got some like an entry point to fruitiness. So we've always try and have like a Colombian in, which is really nice and caramelly and has those sweet notes with some little bits of fruit in there that just start to make you start thinking a bit differently about coffee. So we have customers which I first served 8 years ago, and they were just drinking like the dark one, and now they only buy the lightest, fruitiest coffee because they've gone on that journey the whole way, and they've just got more and more interested in coffee as you go. I mean, it's a big rabbit hole to go down.
Well, it's like wine, isn't it? It's all these kind of things
Very
where
much so.
you start off getting your £5 a bottle off the shelf in a supermarket, and the next thing you know, you're perusing various websites, looking at hideous numbers for bottles, going, oh, well, actually, turns out this is the profile I like, and then like you said, you go with it. It's very, very similar in that respect.
And it is there are so many parallels between them, and that's because it's all about the soil and the way it's grown. It's a natural product, and it takes on the flavour of the terroir. So the wine is the flavours you get in wine is from the soil that the grapes are grown in, and it's exactly the same with coffee as well. There is a big thing in the coffee world at the moment with things like co-fermenting and a lot of like experimental processing methods, and I think they have their place, but realistically, because essentially what they're doing there is they're taking the coffee that's grown out of the ground, and rather than letting the flavours that are contained within that natural product, they are fermenting it with other ingredients to then impart that flavour on the coffee as well. Which I think it makes some really, really interesting, tasty coffees. Yeah. But for me, it's like that's so far from the thing that opened my eyes back in the day when I first got into this side of the coffee industry was like, oh wow, this completely natural product with nothing added to it can taste like strawberries. Like that's crazy to me. I mean, that was the first coffee I tried that really opened my eyes to it. It's like I can genuinely taste strawberry in this coffee. And from that moment on, I was like, okay, this is fascinating. I need to learn all about it. This is my career now.
I think it's incredible because even then, if you go down the whole rabbit hole as well with like the kind of machines that you guys have as well, and you can then tinker with how you that when you prepare it, all of that kind of thing. Like there's so many other different elements then, isn't there, that can completely change, like you say, even just the fundamentals of that particular coffee can taste so different than also how you prepare it. So it's incredible. So what would you say, so if anyone hasn't tried the coffee before, hasn't tried you guys before, would you recommend a particular coffee, or would you say to come and just tell you what they like and you'll recommend some?
I say that's probably the best thing to do. Because it's all about a conversation. We all have different tastes, we all have different palates. My mother and I like opposite ends of the scale within coffee. If I serve to my mum the kind of coffee I like to drink on a daily basis, she has genuinely questioned whether the milk is off before. Because I tend to drink wacky, fruity, odd coffee. And she's very much like a no, normal, please. And that's everything has its place. We're all it does come back to that old phrase: the customer's always right in matters of taste, which is the full expression. No, the customer is not always right. The customer's always right in matters of taste. Everyone likes their own thing. So 100%. It's all part of a conversation. I mean, what we choose to serve as our house espresso is a crowd pleaser. I really enjoy it, despite me being like, I really like funky fruity coffees. I love our house espresso because it's got all the classic flavours you expect from a coffee, but it's got a few subtle, interesting things going on with it. So it's like my mum and I could both drink that and love it.
There you go.
Exactly.
Find a middle ground.
Whereas our darkest roast, it's my least favourite that we have because that's not my style of coffee that I like to drink. So, everyone has different flavours. Everyone has different preferences. Everything needs to be a conversation. I think in reality, the entire coffee menu should be abolished, and you just walk up to me and we have a chat and I find out how you'd like your coffee made and I make it for you. Every transaction would take 10 minutes.
I was going to say, that seems to have a line like round Ely, wouldn't you?
To extend your opening hours a bit. Add some more stuff.
So no, the traditional coffee menu stays. But because it's in reality, you can get a cappuccino from us and then you walk 5 minutes down the street, get a cappuccino from someone else, and it's served in a completely different way.
Exactly.
So it's this is why everyone goes, oh, do you do a single shot or a double shot? Can I have just a single shot in mind? Can I have this? Can I have an extra shot? Because as a world, we can't agree on what
a single way of doing it.
We can't. Yeah, exactly. So, so
Well,
we have the way we do things. Other people have the way they do things. So, but as long as we end up with the customer getting a drink they're happy with, it's the most important thing.
Yeah,
100%.
Maybe that's an event you could do at some point as a little, you know, kind of come and do a pick your own coffee, or I don't know, something little one.
Yeah.
So moving to the yard.
Yes.
let's go there. It's obviously a very unique space. So James and I are big fans. We come there.
Excellent.
Far too often.
It's the downside of being literally a 5-minute walk away. So it's just all too tempting.
So where did the kind of idea, the concept come from, and what were you kind of hoping to achieve with the yard?
Well, it's quite interesting, really, because that site was available for quite some time. When we first looked at it, in 2020, the second lockdown, where you could go out and do a bit here and there. So we first looked at it then, and that's when our roastery was still a tiny little unit on Black Bank Business Centre, just outside Little Downham. So we were like, we're outgrowing this space. We need somewhere bigger. We saw that site was available, so we went there and looked at it, and we started formulating a plan to make like a sort of roastery, cafe, showroom type location. And then by the time we'd sort of like gone like, let's do this, the landlords of the site had decided to rent it to someone else who was setting up like an aquatics centre or something like that. So we moved roastery to somewhere else. We're now on the Saxon Business Park, so we've got a really big sort of warehouse type unit, and it's very utilitarian, but it's very functional. And it works really well for what we do. So then when we saw that the site became available again, we were like, oh, well, we still want to do something. So, you know, there's this great site, like quite central, loads of space in it. Like, what can we do? So, well, what do we know? Well, we know markets. You know, we love that sort of community atmosphere that the market brings, that we've sort of, you know, by being on the market as much as we have, 364 days a year, we've sort of helped create this community atmosphere. We've had, you know, on the market square underneath our gazebos, people who have now been married for 10 years, that's where they first met. You know, it's a really, really lovely thing. So we wanted to sort of recreate that community market atmosphere and vibe at the yard. So that's where we sort of had the idea for all the different outlets in the different spots, with just sort of a lot of communal style seating. So that was sort of like the initial idea. We then approached a design company called Layered Design, and so there was a lot, and I really do mean a lot, of back and forth between us and the designers, because, you know, designers do a really great job of making things pretty, and we're all coming at it from a very practical point of view, going, that won't work for service. You know, so you've got a really big pinch point there. We need to, so, you know, a lot of back and forth until we sort of eventually had this sort of concept. And I mean that's sort of how the idea came about, really.
And how did you find the initial kind of, from that idea and the concept to getting the kind of the lease or the purchasing the land of it, and then turning that into a reality?
Oh, that was that was hard work.
I was saying from experience of here and all the ups and downs we had to finally get here, and this is just a small operation in comparison to what you guys have. I think it must have been quite a mammoth task.
I mean, so the build itself was a considerable undertaking. I'm not going to really go into numbers fully, but, you know, the initial budget, we spent over triple the original budget.
That sounds very familiar.
And the original budget was based on funds that we had access to and were available. And then sort of, you know, once you break ground, you've started. There's no stopping now.
No turning back there.
So, you know, so it was a lot. The initial budget sort of like we just started snowballing and ballooning. And, you know, you've broken ground, so it's sort of too late. So, you know, loans were taken out, houses were put up as collateral. It's, you know, it's like it got to a point where it's like, okay, well, this just damn well has to work. So I mean, but the actual build was, you know, there were delays. There was like, oh look, there's a massive cavity under the ground that needs to be filled now. Oh look, the cost of wood has gone up again. Oh look, this has gone up. Oh look, someone forgot to cost labour into the projected
Of course,
budget.
why would you?
You know, so
Hang on, so they don't work for free.
that would have been nice.
Madness.
But you know, it was quite a big group effort as well. You know, we had people sort of just pitching in on their days off. You know, I think I probably spent in the lead up to opening, because we got to a point where it was like, okay, we've actually set an opening date now too.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, okay, we got to go. We got to go. We promised to people it's going to open at this point.
Yeah.
So I think leading up to the open, there was like sort of 3 months where I didn't really have a full day off, because it's like any time I wasn't on a shift as a barista or roasting coffee or like doing rotas or whatever.
Yeah.
That I was there. I was putting insulation in walls. I was, you know, I'd get, cause, you know, we had some really skilled builders. And when you watch them, it's like, mate, you're on like £400 a day. Yeah. You can't just be putting insulation in a cavity. That's a complete waste of your skill. Like, I will be a grunt. Tell me what to do. Point me in a direction and say, chop that pile of wood or, you know, fill that skip. And I'll do that. Because it's just, you know, you've got to do what you've got to do to bring these things together and really make them work.
Definitely.
So absolutely. And it's a lovely space. And you're, from a food perspective as well there, it's like we've sampled lots of bits on the menu.
Excellent.
How has that evolved over time as well? And what kind of decisions go into that in terms of what comes on the menu, comes off the menu? How does that evolve?
That's a really interesting one, because going into it, none of us really have experience with food. So, you know, when with the planning and the opening of it, we had a chef who crafted incredible flavors. Absolutely incredible. Flavors. Absolutely incredible flavors. You know, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but that he was also quite a chaotic character.
Got you. Okay.
So, and there was, you know, the menu was quite overly complex when we first opened. It led to a lot of delays and wait times and things like that. So it's sort of the menu has developed over time just to really try and tread that balance between speed and quality and trying to keep the price to the customer down as well. You know, it's like there's so much insanity going on at the moment. You know, and there are some food items which is like, you know, realistic. Like I understand why you go to some restaurants and a standard burger is £20. Because it's just it costs so much to get a dish out. Whether it be cost of ingredients or just the cost of staff these days. You know, so a lot of what we do around menu changes now is sort of about keeping the cost of the customer down. Because, you know, we're trying to create this real big community atmosphere. We want people to be able to visit multiple times a week. And they're not going to do that if a meal for two costs £60.
No, definitely.
So we try our best to sort of keep the cost down to customers.
No, definitely. And I think we've definitely seen, like, so, you know, James and I think it's been really interesting from a customer side, I think, as well, to see that, you know, how those tweaks have happened and how that's changed over time. Because actually it's also a really nice and fun thing for, you know, you go back, I don't know, even if it's a couple of weeks later or two, you know, or a couple of months later, and you're maybe trying something different as well. You know, it sort of keeps that interest as well, doesn't it, for people as well, if you're if that sort of changing.
Yeah, because again, it's like when you're working with a lot of repeat custom, you don't want things to get bored. So it's like when we first opened, we were sort of doing like full menu changes seasonally. And we've moved away from that completely now. It's more like, okay, this item's been on for a while, sales of it are dropping, pull it off the menu, let's get something else on there. And so it's much more adaptive now.
You've got to know what isn't working fairly quickly, because otherwise, as I said, you're losing money on wastage and everything else if it doesn't sell.
Exactly.
So,
But it is quite interesting. It's like, you know, the yard sort of really did change the business in its entirety. You know, we had to, over the last few years, just the management structure. You know, before the yard happened, it was basically Bruce, Suzanne, and me. That was it. That was basically the management team. And then the yard happened, and it's like, okay, actually, we now need someone who's focusing and making sure the market square's still operating fine. We need people in place for sort of the different departments in the yard to make sure they're all going well. And it's like, the yard almost forced us from turning into this small mum and pop operation into like, okay, no, we need to take this seriously now. We need to have like management structure. We need to have hierarchy.
Yeah.
It really sort of transformed us and made us realise we're not that tiny little company anymore that we were.
Yeah.
We're now like 30 members of staff as opposed to the 5-8 years ago.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I can imagine as well, especially when it's you've grown maybe quite organically. So it's it's almost like then you suddenly get to that point and you sort of go, oh my gosh, actually we're at that size, and actually all of those things now we need to start to introduce.
Yeah.
It kind of almost sort of feels like it happens overnight a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, well, sort of and sort of not. It's almost like crept up on us. I think it got to a point. I think it was like a year ago, and we're like, yeah, we're not. Yeah, we need to take things really seriously now. We need to, we need to have proper like P&L spreadsheets, and we need to have an actual bookkeeper, full of proper accountants. We've got a CFO now. It's like, but it's like it's like all these changes happen and it sneaks up on you. You don't realise that you've changed that much until you start looking back.
Yeah.
And like, oh my God, Bruce, do you remember when it used to just be you and me just mucking about? Very, very different.
Yeah.
And obviously, the yard has in itself evolved into a beast of an operation outside of everything else that goes on with the roastery and the market side of things.
Yeah.
Was that ever a part of the plan, or was it a kind of let's build it, see how it goes, and go from there? 'Cause I mean, remember from when it first opened, it was literally some food, some coffee, a nice community environment, and everything else. And now you've got events pretty much every night. Yeah. You've got kind of all sorts going on, and it seems to constantly be busy and a real hub of kind of everything going on.
It's very much an evolution, really. Yeah. It's like we opened March 2023, so perfect timing to hit the summer. Yeah. It's a really outdoorsy kind of space.
Yeah.
And it's like, that first summer, it was like, this happens with every new venue in Ely anyway. Like you're always rammed your first month.
Yeah.
So that first summer, it was just pure insanity all the time.
Yeah.
We've got quite strict closing times that we have to adhere to and things like that. So I remember the first couple of months, it's like I was almost there for every single close at the night. Because to get people out, we'd be so packed. Like I would have to stand on a table in the centre and do an announcement to the entire site that we're closing in 15 minutes. If we want this place to survive, we have to adhere by the rules. Please, blah blah. So but again, it's like it really felt like it's like a community place when it's like I can stand up and I can talk to every single person here, and everyone goes, yeah, okay, we're all drunk, but we're all going to leave in an orderly fashion, and and it's like we have such a nice clientele.
Yeah.
You can do those things. We don't have it's not full of riffraff who you're trying to kick out.
Yeah.
And that's because of where you're located as well. Like you said, kind of bang in the middle of a residential area. I understand that the rules there are very strict as to what you can do. So like you said, that could easily have gone the other way when alcohol's involved.
Yeah.
And you could have people causing issues, and it could have lasted 6 months, and then council step in and go, it's not working here.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think that's a testament to the kind of environment you've created there, and the people that you've got, that they actively want to make it work for them as well as for you guys. So.
And I do think the opening times have sort of helped us in that regard as well. The fact that even on a weekend, the latest we can be open is 10 p.m. We have to stop serving alcohol by 9:45. It means the kind of people who want to be out drinking all night kind of disregard us, which I think works for us.
It's okay.
Because, we don't necessarily want the like lads, and we'll just go out drinking, let's cause a bit of a ruckus. Yeah. Like, you're welcome to come as long as you behave yourself and you're nice and you respect everyone around you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot more family than a pub, isn't it? So for that reason.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think you can really tell that, like I say, Jason and I come quite a bit, and I think you really get that vibe there, that it's like everyone's kind of welcome, but it's sort of everyone just be respectful to the people that are around you. You might not know them, but I don't know, everyone seems to kind of have that same idea as well.
And it's really nice that very much is sort of that's come across from the market, because that's very much what our seating area on the market square is like. It's like people are just, are you sitting on your own? Come and join our table. That happens all the time. Yeah. And, you get these little pockets of friends that are only friends because they all happen to get coffee at the same time of day, on a particular day of the week.
Yeah.
And that very much transferred over to the yard. And it's really, really nice to sort of see happening because it's what we wanted to happen. And ta-da, it happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what do you think was the biggest lesson in the kind of from that 2023 opening to where you are now? There's been a lot of change. We've noticed a lot of kind of alterations and things happening over that time, and it's all very positive. But what was one of those big ones that you went, oh, we really need to change that, or we shouldn't have done that, or we've learned to not do that again?
That's a tricky one. There are lessons to be learned for if we were to open another similar site.
Yeah.
One of them being that we've sort of shot ourselves in the foot by creating a site that can seat over 200 people, and yet all of our outlets are relatively small.
Yeah,
that has on the weekends. That's why we can have sort of slightly longer wait times at the weekends than we'd like for the food coming out of the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's why the queue can sometimes look huge when people are queuing up for the coffee bar. Yeah. Because we created a site that can fit so many people in, and we didn't create particularly large outlets. Yeah. So I mean that was quite a big lesson to learn for if we were to do something again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just a huge lesson that we're just always learning. It's just like the people you employ are the most important thing for your company. And thankfully we seem to attract lovely staff members who care and who really like want to put the work in and want to help us succeed. I've worked for quite a few companies within the hospitality industry, and I've never seen staff retention this high for any company I've worked
amazing.
for. We've got people. I mean, I've been with the company 8 years. We've got sort of one of our barista supervisors. She's been with us 5 years now. We've got quite a few members of staff who've been with us for numbers of years now, which I think is because we seem to be good at holding on to people, and we like to be fair to everyone. We like to be good employers. We try and do what we can to be good employers. And I think the sort of the low turnover of staff shows us that we are, I guess. Yeah, because weird saying that about myself, but
No, but it is true. Like you said, hospitality is a notoriously kind of high churn industry. Especially you get a lot of young people who come in kind of first jobs or jobs out of university and things like that. They'll then do it for a season and then move on to the next thing. Or people can't deal with the timings and the unsociable hours. So to retain it is really good.
So we've still got people who, when they were 15, they started with us just cleaning tables, and they come back every year when they're on summer holidays, and they help us out through the summer. And that is really, really nice, because we don't have to go through the training again. It's like, brilliant, we're busiest in the holidays. You want work in the holidays. That really works for us. That's awesome.
It reflects well in a place like Ely as well, because it's not like you're a kiosk in a station where you've got just thousands of footfall, complete strangers who want to get their coffee, get on the train and move on. You've got people that like to familiarise the place. They like to get to know the same people.
We can't survive on one-hit wonders. And that's why consistency of our product is so important to us as well. Consistency of our opening times, consistency of our product, consistency of our staff, just consistency overall. So you guys know as a customer that you're going to order something and it's going to be exactly what you expect. It's going to be the same as when you first tried it a year ago. When it was delicious, and it's still going to be just as delicious.
Exactly.
That's the hope and the dream, anyway.
No, absolutely. And I think especially, like you say, when in hospitality as well, it's like you say, people build up that relationship with the person that's serving them their coffee, don't they? Especially, if you've got regulars that are coming in, there's certainly a few of my friends that visit you, I say most days, if not quite as frequently, they're in that habit, and it's like you build up the rapport with people, and like I say, without that retention piece, it's just, oh, this is someone else, I don't know you.
There are probably quite a few customers who probably don't even care about the coffee. They'd probably be really happy with a Costa or a Starbucks, but they come back because of the people. And I mean, it's really, really interesting because obviously, like, I know so many of our old, like, sort of our longer standing customers because I've spent years on that market square. But like, I'm not out and about sort of doing barista shifts and doing front of house shifts as much as I used to be, maybe once a week or so.
Yeah.
And now I get customers going, "Oh, well, you knew." Like, "Oh, well, no, I'm not." But yeah, because it's like, but people, because people get to know the people who serve them every day.
Yeah.
So it's like they may
absolutely.
not know or care about us as a company.
Yeah.
But the team, the staff members that they see on a daily basis, they're why they come back, and that's why employing the right people and getting good staff is so important.
Yeah. And just I guess on tips on that for anyone else who's maybe in a similar boat or a similar industry, from a staff point of view, I guess an element of that you touched on is how you treat them is kind of your side of that.
Yeah.
Is there also an element in that in terms of obviously when you're looking to recruit staff, the type of staff or like that process as well, the way you recruit them?
What's on their CV doesn't matter one bit.
Good.
I
couldn't agree more.
I mean, yes, I'll look at a CV and I'll go, "Oh, good, they've got some experience."
Yeah.
I don't really care though.
Yeah.
Like, I can teach coffee.
Yeah.
I can teach coffee. We can teach bartending. You can teach how to cook food.
Yeah.
Can't teach work ethic, personality, friendly. These are things that you either sort of have or you don't.
Yeah.
To a degree, yes, you can eke it out of people.
Yeah.
But they have to bring something to table at the start to give you that gut feeling that this person is the kind of person we want, and you can you can very quickly normally tell in that first face-to-face interview or phone conversation or chat that are they going to be the right fit. And in hospitality, it's such a crucial thing. Like you said, it's people, it's talking with people.
Yes, you have to be. Not just like sort of good, like, you have to be really comfortable with it as well. Like, you often get out of your comfort zone when you are dealing with customers, because let's be honest, customers can be very irritating.
Yeah, can be challenging.
Yes, and you do get some people who you feel like they want a fight.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to diffuse it, ignore it, not let it bother you, and move on.
Yeah.
If you let these things linger with you, then you're going to be moody for the rest of the day and probably forever if you stay in the industry.
Yeah.
You have to be able to shrug it off because you don't know what kind of day that customer's having.
Exactly.
They might have just lost their mother.
Yeah.
They're not going to be in a good mood. They're not going to be in the mood for a bit of witty banter.
Yeah.
They might just want to come up, say what they want, and leave.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, it's having that intuition to know who doesn't want to talk, who wants to be left alone, who is clearly looking for a conversation and things like that. There's almost a skill involved to be able to read that in somebody.
100%.
And some people just don't quite understand.
Yeah.
Right, we're kind of almost at the end.
Oh,
Tom. I feel like we could have kept going for
I
forever.
can talk for hours about anything I'm passionate about.
But no, it comes across. It's lovely. So we are on the quick fire round, which as we're notorious for non-quick fire,
not so quick fire.
but we'll try and keep it quick fire for this one. Right. So we're gonna. First question is milk, oat milk, whole milk, or anything else. What is your
Whole milk.
preference? Whole milk.
Give me the fatty cow juice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That is what it says on the label.
I was going to say, somebody who needs to brand up some milk there with that title. Branch into some milk. Love that. Okay, great.
Favourite dish at the Yard on the menu at the moment?
That's a real tricky one because there's so much. Is that breakfast menu or evening menu?
Oh, one of both.
Yeah, in that case.
Right. Sausage butty in the breakfast menu.
Okay.
You can't beat sausage batty with a hash brown in it. Oh god, it's incredible.
Right. Know what we're doing Saturday morning.
And it's a toss up between because all the pizzas are amazing. So I could just say pizza in general.
Yeah.
But then also just like the classic Yard burger.
Yeah.
It's just delicious.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm not even going to get too crazy with it.
Yeah.
Just a burger.
Okay.
Just a quick sidebar. Is there anything that is no longer on the menu that you'd bring back? Because I definitely know one.
Good question.
Chicken yakitori.
See, I was going to go the rotisserie chicken.
Yeah.
Because I know that was way back at the beginning.
That was
that was a good one.
That was an OG dish.
Yeah.
Did you notice when we opened, it was like £19 for an entire rotisserie chicken and 3 sides.
Yeah, and I would have taken that one on my own.
That was part of the chaotic original.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. We very quickly realised, we're not making any money.
No.
I miss the chicken skewers, the yakitori chicken.
Yeah.
I think that just the sauce they made that went with them. Oh,
Lovely. Okay. Right. So the next one. If the yard didn't exist, I know we don't want to think about that.
Oh,
but
my
for
Lord.
a second, if you could think it didn't exist,
yeah.
where in Ely would you spend your Sunday morning?
Sunday morning. See, it's a really interesting one because I've worked in hospitality for as long as I have. I'd never get weekends off. So my Sunday morning would be spent at work.
Yeah.
So on your Tuesday morning, and you can't say the market stall.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Okay. That's a really tricky one because I don't go out much. Right, I'm racking my brain now. So within Ely or surrounding as well?
We can do that, Cole. That Isle of Ely.
Yeah.
5 mile
Because
radius.
Willow Grange, really good breakfast food.
Yes.
We've recently been back and visited their new breakfast menu.
Can I cheat as well and say Roost because then I can get my own coffee?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Roost in Fordham.
The new one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean they don't really do cooked food, but they have one of the best sausage rolls I've ever had. Marmite and cheddar sausage roll.
Oh my god.
With the Marmite running through the sausage meat.
That sounds heaven.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah.
Also, I feel like saying that, like you have set the expectation there, Tom. Right? You know,
Yeah,
you're gonna have to
when
go
I'm
test one.
sent there tomorrow morning
Yeah.
to get breakfast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Why not?
And
Okay.
obviously, I know that there I can get a really nice cup of coffee.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Lovely.
And final one, complete the sentence. Ely is ...
Ely is an amazing city with almost all the amenities you need with a village mentality. And I think that makes one of the best places to live.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah,
I feel like you need a little mic drop
couldn't
after that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah.
So to wrap up, where can we find you online? Obviously, and also physically,
You can find us
virtually.
everywhere. So our website is www.silveroakcoffee.co.uk. All the socials, Silver Oak Coffee. We're not on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it. I think we do have an
Nobody
account,
is.
but we just don't bother with it.
No.
Instagram, Silver Oak Coffee. TikTok, Silver Oak Coffee. Facebook, Silver Oak Coffee. And then obviously you can find us on the Market Square 364 days a year. You can find us at The Yard, which is 35A Newnham Street. And that's open 6 days a week, all the time and forever. For the next good few decades while I'm alive anyway. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Really
Thanks for having
appreciate
me.
it.
No, it's been great.